Hi, second grade. Today we are going to read another story in your Journeys textbook. So right now, go ahead and find your hardcover Journeys textbook. It says Journeys on the front really big. And open up to page 42. You can see that in the corner on my screen. Page 42. And this story that we're going to read is called My Family. And it's written by George Ancona. And before we read, we have to look at the genre. What kind of book is this? Last week we read a realistic fiction book in our Journeys textbook. This story is an informational text. It gives us facts about a topic. So as we read, we have to look for photos and information about real events and people. So this is an informational text. It gives us information. You could also call it a nonfiction story. And while we read, let's think about the question, what are some things that families like to do together? So my family. I am Camilla. I live in Miami with my mother, Damaris, my father, Roberto, and my brother, Rene. My mother came from Cuba. My father came from Puerto Rico. My mother and I go to school together. That's because she teaches Spanish in my school. When we are home, I like to help her cook dinner. So this girl, Camilla, is the one who is telling us all this information. She's what's called the narrator. And these are real pictures of her family. What does this remind you of from social studies? These pictures are artifacts. They are primary sources that Camilla is telling us about what's happening here. She's in this picture, she was there, and she's telling us what happened. This is a source for us to learn about her life. Sometimes when my grandma Martha comes to visit, I dress up and put on a show for her. Today she is teaching me a song. It goes like this. And I'm just going to read it, I'm not going to sing it. There once was a sailor at sea who liked to play guitar. When he remembered his faraway land, he picked his guitar and started to sing. On the high sea, on the high sea, on the high sea. And then you would repeat, you would sing it again. So that's her and her grandma singing. This is an artifact. Okay, let's read the next page. Rene is my little brother. Our friends and family come to the house for his birthday. We play games, eat, and sing happy birthday to him. Here is my family. Grandmother Marta and grandfather Rigoberto had 4 children. Almost all of them came to Rene's birthday party. So here they have kind of like what's called a family tree, and it has all the different family members and who they married, and then underneath it has their children's name. And here's a picture of all the people that are in that family tree. Grandma came with Aunt Maria, Irene, and Victoria. Uncle Andreas came with Victor and Mar Isabel. Aunt Marcia, Uncle Miguel, Gabriela, and Letitia came too. Soon the house was full. I apologize if I didn't pronounce their names correctly. I'm trying my best. just like how you guys try your best when we read, and we try to read the names correctly. We played many games. Aunt Maria Irene showed us how to play hopscotch. So that's when you jump on those squares, you might have them on the playground. Little Letitia put on a crown to dance. Grandpa Rigoberto danced with cousin Mara Isabel. We can see that right here. So from these pictures and from all the pictures in the story, what are we learning about Camilla's family? We're learning that they like to have fun together, might dress up, sing, dance, cook. They do a lot of things together. On Sundays, we go to church with Grandma. Then we go to Aunt Martisa and Uncle Miguel's house. After lunch, we play and sing. Uncle Miguel plays the double bass. Uncle Andres plays the violin. Aunt Darlene plays the piano. Victor plays the clarinet, and Mara Isabel plays the flute. So we can tell from this that they are a very musical family. They play a lot of different instruments. We spend the rest of the day in the backyard. The grown-ups play dominoes while Uncle Andres tells funny stories. Gabriella and I sit on the porch and paint pictures. And here's them playing pictures and the grown-ups playing dominoes. We can kind of see right here those rectangles that have dots on them, and they're telling stories. So we learned a lot about Camilla and her family while reading this. These were true facts, things that happen in her family. And now we're going to talk about how we can, looking down here, how we can compare and contrast. Remember last week we had our Venn diagram, our two circles? We're going to think about that again. So how are the activities of the adults the same as and different from the activities of the children? It says on this page, but we can think about all of the pages. So remember our comprehension skill, that skill that we're going to use to think about this book and to understand it better, is called compare and contrast. And we can use this graphic organizer to help us compare and contrast. What's this called? That's right, a Venn diagram. And this graphic organizer, this Venn diagram, helps us think about what's alike or the same between two things, peoples, animals, and then also what's different. So we're going to use the story that we just listened to, My Family, and we're going to make a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting, thinking about what's the same and what's different, the children and the adults in the story. So on your Seesaw activity, I will have this set up already so you see what's on here. It's labeled My Family, the name of the book, children, adults, and then in the middle, both. And I want you to look at your Journeys book, flip through the pages of this story, or listen to my read aloud again, and think about how are the children different from the adults and how are they the same. So I will do one with you as an example. They both sing together. They both sing. But something on the last page that it says is that the children paint pictures while the adults play dominoes. So that's just one thing that makes the children and the adults different and the same. On Seesaw, list a couple other ones. You can put this one, but then list a couple others. Have fun looking through this story and learning more about Camilla's family.